appropriate that we should talk about rapport. People ask about it often, and I think it's an important part not only of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, NLP, it's also an important part of communication, so it's beneficial. It's one of the few videos where we won't have a demonstration, but I think it's still that important, and I want to give you some examples of how that works. So in communication, if I really want to accomplish something, and especially in NLP where I want to help someone through a change, I want to shift things, I want to change how things show up in the neurology or shift behaviors, it's really important that the person that you're guiding through that process trust you. This is where they give up and get the critical left brain function out of the way so that they can actually experience the change. So rapport is very important because that's where we establish the trust. And rapport, many of you have experienced it, can happen very, very quickly. It can also be lost quickly. To develop rapport, you want to remember that there are 3 parts to rapport. About 55% of developing that bond with another person has to do with body language, right? It's communication there. How many times have you run up to somebody, you get that warm feeling, you'll actually feel it. You start talking to them, there's something you share in common, you just immediately feel like you've known each other forever. That's actually a voice cue saying, wow, I feel connected to you. You can be so connected that if you scratch your nose, you'll find them scratching their nose as well. So rapport is easy to be demonstrated when you do those things, just to see if they mimic you through that change. So about 55% of what you do in rapport has to do with how you hold your body. If you're talking to someone and they're holding their hands this way, hold your hands that way. They got them on the hips, hold them there. Don't be too obvious, but are there ways that you begin to connect? About 38% of rapport building has to do with your tone, your speed, the clarity of your communication. So if someone's a slower speaker and you want to develop rapport, slow down a bit. If they're a fast talker and you can keep up with them in pace, speed up your speech. Remember that most people like someone who's like them. So the more as you approach them, you can mirror them without being condescending, the closer you create that bond of, hey, you're just like me. We share something in common. And then about 7% of rapport building has to do with the content of your communication, how you use predicates, how you use content chunks. But that's the least important, but still something to pay attention to. Once you have rapport, you'll know, again, that you have it. You can do something as simple as scratch your ear and see if they do the same thing. It happens at a very unconscious level. You'll know when you've got it because you will feel about the midline of the body on your torso. You get that warm feeling. You will feel the rapport as much as your client feels it. So it is a kinesthetic experience. I highly recommend you play some games with this. Check it out with the next person you meet in the grocery store. Turn around, say hi, do some things, maybe comment on something in their grocery cart. Mimic their behavior just a little bit and see if you don't immediately make a friend in the grocery store line. It's when we do that that we create community. It's when you do that and you become proficient at it that you become a really good NLP practitioner. Thanks for joining.